So I'm getting rid of everything. Everything that is not currently working for me. And you'd be surprised on what those things are.
I'm not too sure about the way this party swings, but you like to hang about the bee until it sings. I'm right here finding out the worst in everything. Wrong place, wrong time again.
Something I have not done with the decluttering video is really dive deep into why I'm getting rid of something and how I actually get myself to let go. Because I know every time I've done these videos, I've had that question of how do you actually let go of pieces that you absolutely love, but just know aren't really working for you anymore. So that's what I want to dig into in this video.
Don't mind, don't bother me, I'm out of luck again. One time, two times out of three, I'm out of luck again. Maybe you could wash my back, 'cause I could use a friend. But take your chance with me. You're in the kitchen giving her
The first one is my Anina Bing Gavin jeans. They're really tight in the waist, so they're just not comfortable. And I kind of held on to them because I was like, I think at the end of the day, I thought that I would eventually break them in, as I do with most of my jeans. The waistband is not giving an inch, so it's time to accept it and move on. Because I do buy quality, accessible luxury brands like Anina Bing, it does help to let them go because you can just resell them. So I will be reselling these. And so I will be getting some money back, which is always something that definitely helps. The next item is my Rag & Bone Nina skinny jeans. I've been seeing all these things saying skinny jeans are back. Yep. And I've been saying, folks, they've never left, right? But I think for me, and where I'm at just with my life, with my style, all those different things, I have definitely moved on from the super tight fitting skinnies, sort of like what people call like jeggings or whatever, just so your stretch skinny jeans, more so for the fact they're just not comfortable for me anymore. I used to love them, I used to live in them. I kind of held on to them because I thought you're gonna regret letting these go. And I think now I'm to the point where I'm like, it's just not happening. Like, I have not worn them. Stretch skinny jeans just don't work with my 40-year-old body anymore. That was a 20-something deal. Okay.
the small talk never ends. Oh, don't call, don't bother me, I'm out of luck again. Well, it's a one time, two times out of three, I'm out of luck again.
The next one is definitely gonna shock you. My Tory Burch boat shoes. Was a hard decision, and I'm still sort of grappling with it, but it comes down to the fact that I purchased these secondhand on the Real, whatever it was, last year. Was it last year? Yeah. And then this year, I came across a pair of Prada boat shoes on the Real, and I loved the blue color. I just loved like that pop, and I loved the silhouette of them. And then I also love that the Prada gold logo is really small and understated, so you wouldn't even know that they're Prada boat shoes unless you're like real up and close and personal. I think the thing I'm kind of realizing I'm not a fan of, which I've always said this and I kind of went against it for just making an exception for Tory Burch, is the really big gold logo. Kind of what I've decided is I'm gonna get rid of these ones because I don't need two pairs of boat shoes. I think of the two, I prefer the Prada ones, and I've been wearing the Prada ones a lot more this summer. As much as I absolutely love these and it pains me to let them go, it just makes sense to let them go. As well as that, they're not very worn, so I can still get very good money for these. That's kind of where we're at. Doesn't mean I'm not sad about it though, you know? The next one is tricky, is a tricky one. I think it's the one that no, I shouldn't say that. I think I'm struggling with all of them, but I think I just searched so long and hard for them, and I just thought I really wanted them to work out. But it's my vintage Levi's, my vintage 501s with the Phoebe Buffet hem, the sort of eclectic bohemian hem. I think what it comes down to is there's like a little something off with the fit. And I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't even know if it's the fit. It could be where the distressing is, because sometimes I'm really specific with my distressing, just meaning, you know, where it's faded. And if a pair of jeans kind of faded or distressed to somebody else's body, it can therefore sometimes look kind of awkward and not right or sort of foreign on your body. It's sort of hard to alter that. So I don't know if that's quite it, but probably boils down to like, I am the most pickiest person. And I mean the most pickiest person when it comes to jeans. So there's that sort of little thing. Love the booty in these, by the way. And then the other thing is I sort of have a love-hate relationship with the boho hem. I love sort of the whimsy and the detail and the contrast that detail brings to a lot of my basic looks. But I also find it super distracting sometimes, and I feel like it kind of throws off the refinement of a lot of my looks. If we're being honest, I'm not a Phoebe Buffet. I'm a Rachel Green, 100%.
The luxury of self-destruction to be self-aware. Why my mind malfunctions into this reverse? Smile, I walk to get a drink from the machine. The light inside.
So I think the realization that I had, and I want to share before I share the last item, and this last item, I'm definitely going to get some comments for sure on the fact that I'm letting these go. I think the hardest part of letting go of these pieces is that you not only love the idea of these pieces, there's, you know, something that pulls you in. I think it's that, for me anyways, I love the idea of the person I see myself in that piece. Does that make sense? I love the idea of the person I see in the piece. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. And so I think that's part of it is accepting that, like accepting that reality of like, this isn't the person that I am. This doesn't work with me anymore, because I have this channel and I speak to being intentional with your purchases and making sure you're only buying things that make sense for you and not purchasing things that you love the idea of. I think it's like sort of me admitting defeat or admitting failure. So I think it's hard for me to admit when I've failed in that. And I think that's the thing that I have to sort of figure out how to accept. The last item is my mother denim half pipe white jean. This one was a hard decision, especially because they're super flattering on me. They're super comfortable. My husband absolutely loves me in these, but I think at the end of the day, I just don't really grab for them. You know, when I first got them, I went nuts with them. I wore them all the time. But then as that sort of wore off, as that excitement sort of wore off, I just started to realize like they're just not ones that I get excited about every day. It's a hard one to sort of make sense to somebody that isn't in my head. But every time that I look at myself in the mirror in these, I don't really see myself, I guess. I don't really feel myself. And I sort of feel like I'm looking at somebody else. I don't know. That's kind of like the only way I can describe it. They just don't fit. They fit everywhere else. They fit like a glove. But I think just for me and my sort of persona, maybe, they're not working. I don't know. I wish I had a better explanation, but I guess I don't need to. I think for myself, I know that it's just time to let them go. And again, I think because these are trending currently, I think that is also helping with my decision, because I'm like, okay, well, if I am going to get rid of them, let's get rid of them while they're still trending.
And while people are still can't wait to get their little paws on them.
Did I ever analyze that dream? No, I couldn't put together all the things I've seen. Surrealist stand-up scene.
I've realized that it's better to accept the failure than to hold on to something that just isn't working for you and is being wasted and is just contributing to overwhelmment and noise in your closet, when you could actually let it go and sort of let it move on to somebody else that is truly giddy and excited, and it's going to bring them joy. I think that's sort of how I like to look at it. And that could just be me, because I definitely get attached to inanimate objects. I don't know, blame Toy Story, but yeah, I definitely get attached to my clothes. And I'm like, oh, the ones that I'm not wearing, I'm like, oh, like they must be sad. They're not being worn. They're not being seen or styled or loved. Having that image of in your mind of sort of seeing a face with that joy when they receive your piece, whether it's in a thrift store, you know, online shipment, whatever it may be, a donation, a pile. I think that's what, at the end of the day, helps me to let go.